All right, so get this. Are you ready to deep dive with me today?
Always.
Okay, good. Because we are diving deep into the world of Teemu.
Ooh, Teemu.
Yes. But not just, for like scoring sweet deals, like we usually talk about.
Right.
We're talking about using Teemu to start and run a whole business.
Wow.
Yeah. So I found this YouTube video, and it's from Reinventing Glamour.
Okay.
Yeah. It breaks down all these potential business ideas, and they're sourcing products straight from Teemu.
Okay.
But to make sure we don't miss anything important, I also pulled up some general tips from a source called How to Start a Small Business.
Classic.
Yeah. So the big question is, could this be like the secret weapon
Yeah.
for aspiring entrepreneurs out there?
I mean, the video makes a pretty bold claim right off the bat.
Okay.
It says that Teemu can actually be a viable wholesale source.
Whoa.
Right? And that's intriguing because most people, when they think wholesale, they think of platforms like Alibaba.
That's true. Yeah.
So what are your initial thoughts on Teemu, like, competing at that level?
I'll be honest, I never even thought of Teemu as a wholesale option.
Right.
It was always just like, a place to get cheap stuff for myself.
Exactly.
But the video claims that Teemu might actually be the better option than Alibaba, especially when you think about how long it takes to get stuff from Alibaba.
Yeah, the video really emphasizes speed and cost effectiveness as major advantages for Teemu. They even say you could get a shipment in a week.
Wow.
Compared to potentially months with Alibaba.
Okay, that's a big difference.
Right. And for a new business trying to get inventory quickly, that kind of speed could be a game changer.
Absolutely.
But of course, we do need to look into whether the quality and reliability of Temu's suppliers are actually as good as Alibaba's.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We don't want to sacrifice quality just for speed.
Exactly.
But okay, let's say for argument's sake that Teemu does deliver on both quality and speed, right?
Right.
The video then throws out a ton of business ideas that you could launch using Teemu. We're talking everything. Like they say you could start your own cosmetics line.
Wow.
And they have everything like empty bottles and wholesale lip gloss to like hop in on that personalized tumbler trend.
Oh, yeah, those are everywhere.
With a glass cup business, right?
Smart.
They even suggest keychain businesses,
Oh.
jewelry making, hair accessories. Honestly, the list goes on and on.
It does. It's a lot.
It's a lot, so it's almost overwhelming.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to look beyond just how many ideas they're throwing at us.
Right.
And really consider which ones are actually viable.
Exactly.
Like, for example, the video mentions Teemu having everything you need to start making candles.
Oh, wow.
And you can get kits for under $25.
That's pretty cheap.
That's really cheap. That's a super low barrier to entry.
All right.
But then the question is, how profitable is the candle market, really?
Yeah.
And what kind of competition are you likely to face?
Right. You've got to think about all that.
Exactly. So we need to think critically about things like market saturation and profit margins.
Yeah.
Not just whether we can source cute stuff from Teemu.
For sure.
For sure.
So what other business ideas from the video stood out to you?
Well, the cosmetic business idea is interesting
Okay.
because Teemu seems to have everything from the raw ingredients to packaging,
Oh, wow.
which could let you customize and control your product a lot more.
That makes sense.
The glass cup business, focusing on those trendy tumblers, could also be lucrative,
Yeah.
given how much people love those things right now.
They're everywhere.
But again, we'd really need to delve deeper into the specifics of each market.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so easy to get carried away by all the possibilities without thinking about the practicalities.
Right.
But, okay, so get this. The YouTuber claims to have uncovered something pretty shocking
Oh,
while researching for this video.
okay.
Apparently, there's evidence that some Etsy sellers might be sourcing their handmade goods
What?
directly from Teemu.
No way.
Yeah, so the YouTuber found an Etsy listing for emotional support crochet items,
Okay.
right? And then found the exact same item.
What, being sold on Teemu with the same packaging and product descriptions?
So it's not even similar items.
Right.
It's literally the same product.
Same exact product.
Wow.
Being marketed as handmade on Etsy when they're clearly mass-produced and sourced from Teemu.
That's kind of messed up.
Yeah, it's deceptive, to say the least.
Yeah,
So now I'm wondering, how widespread is this practice?
right.
Should we all be, double-checking Etsy listings and cross-referencing them on Teemu before we buy anything?
He's we've got to be detectives now
I know.
before we buy anything on Etsy.
It's crazy.
It really makes you think.
It does. It highlights the need for more transparency
Yeah,
in online marketplaces, for sure.
absolutely.
As consumers, we have a right to know where our products are coming from.
Yes.
And if what we're buying is actually handmade or just resold from somewhere else.
For sure.
Okay. So there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears for a minute and go back to the YouTube video. Because beyond sourcing it, it also outlines 10 free or low-cost marketing strategies
Oh, nice.
for new businesses.
Okay.
And this is where things get really interesting for anyone starting out on a tight budget.
Yeah, because you can have an amazing product,
Right.
but if you don't get it in front of the right people,
Exactly.
it's not going to sell,
That's so true.
especially when you're first starting out.
Totally.
Yeah.
So the video suggests all kinds of things like optimizing your website for search engines.
SEO.
SEO, as the cool kids call it.
I know, right?
To using TikTok Live to reach a huge audience, even with a small following.
Nice.
They also talk about the power of collaborations, giveaways to build an email list, and leveraging influencer marketing.
There are some clever ideas in there.
There are some really good ones.
It's like they're encouraging a very DIY approach to marketing.
Yeah.
Which could be really appealing for someone just starting out and doesn't have a ton of money to spend.
Totally. But are these strategies actually effective, or are they just clever in theory?
Right.
What do you think, based on your experience?
Well,
Out of all the tips they mentioned, which ones do you think are most likely to be successful for a Teemu-based business?
I think TikTok and influencer marketing could be really effective,
Yeah,
given how popular Teemu is on social media.
that makes sense, especially with younger demographics, right?
Oh, yeah, TikTok is where it's at these days.
But what about the downsides?
Well, one thing to watch out for with influencer marketing is making sure you're partnering with people who actually align with your brand values and your target audience.
Oh, that's a good point.
Authenticity is key.
Right. You don't want to just chase follower accounts.
Yeah.
You want someone who really gets your brand
Exactly.
and can authentically connect with their audience.
Yeah.
And with TikTok, it feels like it's so hard to stand out
It is. It's a constant challenge.
because it's so fast-paced.
Yeah, it requires creativity, consistency, and like a deep understanding of how the platform works.
And how it's constantly changing.
Right. Because what works today might not work tomorrow. You got to stay on top of it.
So it's way more than just posting a cute video and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
You need a solid strategy
Yeah,
and be willing to adapt all the time.
absolutely.
Okay.
You know, it's so interesting to think about using a platform that's mostly known for like everyday shopping
Right.
as a supplier for your own business.
Yeah.
It's like flipping the script on traditional retail.
I know. Instead of just adding to cart, you're thinking, how can I use this to like build my own empire?
Right.
But okay, before we get too ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
let's break down those marketing strategies a bit more.
Okay.
We talked about SEO, like optimizing your website for search engines,
Right.
which can sound really intimidating if you're
Yeah.
not super techie.
Yeah.
But the video makes it seem like surprisingly approachable.
Well, and the interesting thing about SEO
Yeah,
is that it's not a quick fix.
right.
It's a long game.
Okay.
It's not about like flashy ads or getting a ton of attention overnight.
Right.
It's about building something sustainable online that attracts customers naturally over time.
So it's less about like shouting from the rooftops.
Yeah,
And more about like strategically whispering in the right ears.
exactly. You got it.
Okay. I like that.
It's about understanding how search engines work and optimizing your website
Okay.
so that it actually shows up when people search for stuff that you're selling.
Got it.
It involves using keywords strategically,
Okay.
getting links from other good websites, and creating good content that people actually want to read.
Right. So it's not just about like throwing keywords all over your website.
No, it's not just sprinkling them around like confetti.
Okay. There's an art to it.
Yeah, there's a real art and science to it.
So what about TikTok Live?
Yeah.
That seems like a much faster way to connect with potential customers.
TikTok Live is all about real-time engagement.
Okay.
It's your chance to show off your products, answer questions live, and really build a community around your brand.
The video mentioned that even if you don't have a ton of followers yet,
Right?
the TikTok Live can still be effective,
Yeah,
which is encouraging for new businesses.
definitely.
Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I do. It's one of the things that makes TikTok unique.
Okay.
The algorithm is designed to show people content that's engaging,
Mm.
regardless of how many followers someone has.
Interesting.
So a small business with a great product and a knack for creating captivating live streams
Yeah.
could totally gain traction.
So it's about the quality of the content
Yes,
and your ability to like connect with people watching,
absolutely.
not just the size of your audience.
Not just how many followers you have.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
So collaborations, any tips for finding the right partners?
Well,
The video is kind of vague on that.
yeah, when you're thinking about collaborations,
Yeah.
look for businesses that complement yours but don't directly compete.
Okay.
So let's say you're selling handmade jewelry that you got from Teemu. Maybe you could partner with like a clothing boutique or a home decor store that has a similar style.
That's a good idea.
Right, and then you can cross-promote each other's products
Yeah.
and reach new customers who might be interested in both.
It's a win-win.
Exactly. It's all about creating a win-win situation.
And speaking of win-win giveaways,
Ooh, giveaways.
they seem like such a fun way to get people excited about your brand and build your email list.
Right.
But how do you structure a giveaway so it actually works?
Well, the key is to offer something that your target audience actually wants.
Right.
Something they would be really excited to win.
Makes sense.
And like the video said, you can make entering the giveaway dependent on giving you their email address.
Oh, that's smart.
Right.
So you're not just giving something away. You're
Yeah.
building a valuable asset for your business.
Exactly. And once you have that email list,
Yeah.
you can use it to stay connected with those people.
Right.
Share updates and promote new products.
It's all about staying top of mind
Yes.
and giving people something of value.
Exactly. Taking care of that email list can be one of the most valuable things you do for your business,
In the long run.
especially in the long run.
Okay, last but not least, we have influencer and affiliate marketing.
Okay.
I feel like influencer marketing is everywhere these days.
It is.
But it can also feel a little bit like the Wild West.
It can.
So how do you even know which influencers are worth working with?
That's a great question.
And is affiliate marketing basically the same thing?
That's another great question. So first, let's clarify the difference between the two.
Okay.
Influencer marketing usually means partnering with people who have a big following online
Okay.
and can influence what their audience buys.
Got it.
Affiliate marketing is more about performance.
Okay.
So you partner with people or businesses
Uh-huh.
who promote your products and get a commission for every sale they make.
So with influencer marketing, you're paying for their reach and influence.
Right.
And with affiliate marketing, you're paying for results.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay.
And to answer your question about choosing influencers,
Yeah.
research is key.
Okay.
Don't just go for whoever has the most followers.
Right.
Look for people who genuinely fit with your brand.
Okay.
Have an engaged audience that matches your target market.
Got it.
And create high-quality content that reflects your values.
So it's about finding the right fit, not just chasing popularity.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about the legal and logistical side of starting a business?
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit before.
We did.
But it's a really important part of the puzzle.
It is.
That we should spend some more time on.
Definitely before you start any business, it's crucial to understand the legal stuff.
Right.
Like registering your business and getting any permits or licenses you might need.
Okay, so let's break it down.
Okay.
What are some key things that people should be aware of on the legal and logistical side?
One of the first things you'll need to decide
Okay.
is what legal structure your business will have.
Okay.
Like a sole proprietorship,
Hmm.
a partnership, an LLC,
Right.
and things like that.
Got it.
This choice will affect things like your taxes and liability.
Okay, different structures offer different levels of protection.
Yes.
Come with different tax stuff.
Exactly. You'll also need to register your business name
Oh, yeah.
and get any necessary permits or licenses,
Got it.
which will depend on where you are and what kind of business you're running.
This is where things can get a little overwhelming,
They can,
especially if you're trying to figure it all out on your own.
especially if you're doing it solo.
Yeah.
But there are resources out there to help.
Okay.
The Small Business Administration, or SBA,
Okay, yeah.
offers workshops, mentoring programs, and even funding opportunities.
So it's like having a support system
It is.
to guide you through the process.
Exactly. Using those resources can be so helpful,
Yeah.
especially when you're first starting out.
Right.
The SBA can give you advice on everything,
Wow.
from writing a business plan to getting financing.
So don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
It's a good reminder that you don't have to do everything alone
Yep.
when you're starting a business.
Yep.
There are people and organizations out there that are dedicated to supporting small businesses
There are.
and helping them succeed.
And they want to see you succeed.
Okay, but before we get too caught up in all the logistics,
Right.
let's circle back to those potential pitfalls we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
We talked about market saturation
Yes.
and profit margins. When you're evaluating different business ideas,
Right.
you don't want to jump into a market that's already super crowded
No, you don't.
unless you have something really unique to offer.
Or a way to stand out from the crowd.
Exactly. And you need to make sure that you can price your products competitively
Yeah.
while still making a decent profit
Right.
after you factor in all your costs.
Well, your costs.
It's easy to get tempted by those low wholesale prices on Teemu
It is.
and forget about all the other expenses that come with running a business,
Right.
like shipping, packaging, marketing, and of course, your own time and effort.
Exactly. All of those costs need to be part of your pricing strategy.
Absolutely. And then
Yeah.
there's quality control.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
With any wholesale supplier, you have to make sure the products are good quality
Yes,
before you buy a bunch of them.
absolutely. And with Teemu, where the prices are so low,
Yeah,
it's easy to think that you're get what you pay for
that's true.
and that the quality might not be that great.
Yeah. So how do you balance that?
Well, Teemu might have great deals,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't want to compromise on quality.
Right.
Because ultimately that could hurt your business if customers aren't happy.
That's true.
Building a reputation for high-quality products is so important
It's everything.
for long-term success.
So it's a balancing act.
It is.
Finding that sweet spot between affordable and good quality.
That's the key.
And then, of course, there's the whole ethical thing
Yeah.
of reselling Teemu products as handmade on Etsy.
Right?
We've talked about being transparent. But what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about doing that?
I would say don't try to hide the fact that you're getting your products from Teemu.
Okay.
Be upfront with your customers about it.
So honesty is the best policy,
I think so.
even if it means you might lose some sales
It might.
to people who only want stuff that's truly handmade.
Yeah. But in the long run, building trust with your customers
Yeah,
is more valuable than any quick wins you might get from being sneaky.
that's so true.
You can still have a successful business reselling Teemu products.
Okay,
Just be honest about where they're coming from.
got it.
Find ways to add value, even if you're not making the products from scratch.
That's a good point.
You can offer unique bundles, personalized packaging,
Yeah.
or amazing customer service.
Right. It's about finding ways to set yourself apart
Exactly.
and create a good experience for your customers.
That's what it's all about.
Okay, so you can leverage your creativity and business smarts
Yes.
to build a brand that stands out, even if you're sourcing products from a platform like Teemu.
Exactly. The key is to be transparent, authentic, and focused on giving your customers something of value.
I think we've covered a lot,
We have.
from the potential of Teemu wholesale to the ethics of reselling,
Yeah.
the maze of marketing, and the legal stuff you need to know.
Get a lot.
We've also talked about some things to watch out for
Right.
and the importance of picking a business idea that you're actually passionate about
And good at.
and have the skills for.
Absolutely.
So is there anything else you want to add for our listeners as they think about their own entrepreneurial journeys?
My advice would be to embrace the unknown,
Okay.
but don't go in blind.
I like that.
Do your research, get advice from resources like the SBA,
Mm-hmm.
and be ready to adapt and change along the way.
Yeah,
The world of entrepreneurship is always changing.
that's true.
So stay curious and never stop learning.
Embrace the unknown, but don't go in blind.
Yeah.
It's the perfect mix of courage and caution, which seems so important for navigating the exciting
And often unpredictable.
and often unpredictable world of entrepreneurship.
That's the truth.
Yeah, it really is a delicate balance.
It is. You need that entrepreneurial spirit,
I know.
that willingness to take a risk. But you got to be smart about it too.
Be strategic.
Exactly.
Speaking of taking the leap, let's go back to those potential pitfalls.
Okay.
We talked about market saturation and profit margins. But what other red flags should people look out for when they're evaluating business ideas?
Good question.
What are some signs that an idea maybe isn't as good as it seems at first?
One thing to think about is how long the product or trend you're focusing on is going to last.
Okay,
Is it just a fad?
that's going to fade away.
Yeah, or is there like a steady demand for it that could support a long-term business?
That's a really good point because it's easy to get caught up in what's hot right now
Right.
and not think about whether people are still going to want it in like a year or two.
Exactly. You got to think long-term.
Okay, so what else?
Another thing to consider is scalability.
Okay.
Can you grow this business beyond just you running it?
Re-
Or is it always going to be limited to just what you can do yourself?
So if you're dreaming of building a big business,
Yeah,
you need to pick an idea that can grow and change as your business grows.
exactly. You got to be able to scale up.
Okay. And I guess finally, there's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Your own skills and passion.
Yes.
Are you actually excited about this business idea?
You got to love it.
You got to love it.
Because starting a business is hard.
It is.
You're going to face challenges.
Setbacks.
Exactly. And you need that passion to keep you going.
So we've talked about a lot today.
We have.
The potential of Teemu, wholesale, the ethics of reselling, all the different marketing strategies,
So many strategies.
and all the legal and logistical things you need to know.
It's a lot to think about.
It is. But hopefully we've given everyone a good starting point.
I hope so.
So any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Final words, wisdom.
Who might be feeling inspired to take that entrepreneurial leap?
My advice is don't be afraid to start small.
Okay.
You don't need to have all the answers or a perfect plan right away.
Yeah.
It's okay to experiment, try things out, and learn as you go.
That's actually really reassuring to hear,
Yeah,
because sometimes it feels like you need to have everything figured out before you even start.
it can feel that way.
And that can be so overwhelming.
It can be paralyzing.
So what you're saying is it's more important to just take that first step,
Take the first step,
even if it's a small one,
even if it's tiny.
and you can adjust as you go.
Exactly, course correct along the way.
I love that. Don't be afraid to start small experiment. Try things out and learn as you go.
That's it.
And remember, every successful entrepreneur was once a beginner with a dream
It's true.
and the courage to take a chance.
They all started somewhere.
Sure. So what are you waiting for?
Right.
That Teemu tab is probably still open in your browser.
Probably.
Maybe it's time to take a closer look and see what sparks your imagination.
What's calling you?
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Teemu and entrepreneurship.
It's been fun.
We'll catch you next time for another exciting exploration.
See you then.
Until then, happy hustling.